the mentoring process for every young mind is the main motto of Inspire 2020 Science Nurture Camp. An unconventional approach in joy of discovering the innate potential of students was projected and designed by Dr. T.S. Channesh, Director of Center for Public Understanding of Science, Bengaluru, after an year-long discussion with the management, the Chief Executive Officer, CEO Kirtan Kumar, Principal, and myself. So all of us were a part of this program, and today we are at the concluding part with the valedictory lecture by Dr. T.S. Channesh. At this juncture, we have our guest speaker of the day, that is Director of Center for Public Understanding of Science, that is Dr. T.S. Channesh. A warm welcome to you, sir, on behalf of Soundarya Pre-University College and Soundarya Group of Institutions.
Thank you. Thank you.
I equally welcome our Chief Executive Officer, Kirtan Kumar, sir, for the program, who is always motivating us in conducting such programs. A warm welcome to you, sir. And I do welcome all my colleagues who have joined us for this program. A warm welcome to you all. And I welcome all the participants of the Inspire 2020 program, the students who were really with us for the program and inspiring us too in conducting such a program. A warm welcome to all of you. Before that, I would like to walk through the events, that is a glimpse of Inspire 2020, the Science Nurture Camp, where we all had started with. So let me take you to that event. Let's recollect what we had done. So I just would like to share with you all. Yes. So Inspire 2020, a science nurture program, which was conducted in association with Center for Public Understanding of Science. So the program had a series of lectures, as you all know, and it was started on February 26th, that is 2020. It was inaugurated on 26th of February with 65 students, where it began with the inauguration, and we just had the talk on the relevance of the camp and principal motivating the students. A principal, sir, is not able to join today. I would like to personally send his message, tell his message to all the students that he has wished all of you a good success. And we had a CEO also who wished, and the mentor of the program, that is Dr. T.S. Channesh, and he gave a series of talks, and he brought in eminent scientists from renowned institutes and introduced many books and encouraged us to read and visit research centers, and different variety of program was being chalked out. With the program to begin with, we had the first lecture by Channesh sir, that is Philosophy and Public Understanding of Science, where discovery, invention, and innovation have driven humanity from the Stone Age to Industrial Revolution, and the present, where the humanity has played a pivotal role. The young and aspiring innovators were mentored with the introduction to philosophy and public understanding of science, and where the philosophy and public understanding are two ends of the knowledge discourse, and the practitioner has to work in between them. The narratives with specific examples encourages the students to become world-renowned scientists. And later on, we had a series of lectures, one by Dr. Niranjan Prabhu. The students visited MS Ramaiah University of Applied Sciences, Pune, where they were exposed to research activities at the university, which was guided by Dr. Niranjan Prabhu, Associate Professor at MSR University, Bengaluru. He motivated the students with avenues in chemistry, which gave a lot of insights, not only in chemistry, but also the statistics of patents, research activities globally, and where does India stand, and so on. Later on, the students had a chance of visiting concept lab and the research lab, okay, and mechanical department workshop, where in concept lab, where the prototypes were there, where we started from the scratch, that is from the sketching to finished product. And the mechanical lab, the students were able to look into a lot of prototypes, and also the cross section of car machineries and the Rolls-Royce aircraft engines, turbines, and much more. And with that, which will continue to push their boundaries into real learning environment. On day 2, we had lecture by Mr. Akshay C, research intern at Game Theory Lab at Indian Institute of Science, which gave an overview of game theory and its applications, strategies, and economic behavior. Followed by that, we had a lecture by Mr. Mahadevaya, who empowered the students about the importance of programming and how it can enhance the learning abilities, and why programming is essential skill to learn in 21st century. We also had a lecture by Mr. Prasanna, the Associate Professor from JSS Academy of Higher Education, who spoke on molecular concerns of cancer research and wonders of biology, and also by Dr. Divya P. Kumar, who is an assistant professor at JSS Academy of Higher Education and Research, Mysuru. She spoke on understanding life, biochemical journey, where the students had a good insight on the talks related to these topics. And we had a talk by Dr. Rekha M, who spoke on making of molecules, that is science of matter around us, and matter around us, which is made up of all molecules. And Dr. Rekha took the children around the world of matter with simple examples, and chemistry that brought from real world examples with insightful explanations and reasoning. Later on, we had a talk by Dr. Channesh on food, farming, and ecology, scientific inquiry. The identification of few as food has been greatest wonder of humanity, and nature, particularly soil, being the source of food, does both production as well as decomposition. He also gave a lot of insights with his experimental proceedings as well. Then we had another lecture by Mr. Akash B of ISRO, where he navigated the students with the history from navigation in animals, human mankind, to current satellite navigation service, and GPS to plan and developing career into scientific research. And he also spoke on NAVIC, IRNSS, India's own GPS, and so on. We also had another talk by Professor C.R. Pradeep, who spoke on excitement in mathematics. So there is a poetry and beauty in mathematics. The students were made to enjoy mathematics, and he motivated to solve problems with illustrations and ideas. Then on 29th of February, being National Science Day, the students were taken to Indian Institute of Science, as it was an open day, and students really enjoyed the session there as well. And on every day, a movie was screened, and the students really enjoyed, the inmates enjoyed watching together. Right, so we had screened some of the movies like E is equal to mc squared, the world famous equation of the world renowned scientist Albert Einstein, which even unfurls the groundbreaking discoveries by many scientists of that era, and a mind-boggling story of a African fig tree and special relation with fig wasp, the film The Queen of Trees, and a movie on mathematician Srinivasa Ramanujan, the unschooled genius who became the Fellow of Royal Society, the man who knew infinity. So this was the program that we had gone through, and really it was enjoyable moment where the students kick-started with great enthusiasm, but because of the COVID-19 pandemic, which created the largest disruption, we could not continue it, and the valedictory program had to prolong till date. Uh, where this type of activities also is providing us to pave the way for the digital learning. So I would like to welcome all the participants of Inspire 2020 program for this valedictory lecture, and I would like to invite Dr. T.S. Channesh for his valedictory lecture. Can you please, sir,
Yeah.
and take us forward?
Thank you very much, madam. I will start now. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Screen is visible?
Yes, sir. It's
Okay. I am audible too.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. But I am okay. Friends, in about 20 to 30 minutes, I'll just flip through some of the interesting facts of science and technology, the way forward, where you look at how and things of your future, etc. I'm sure you all have chosen science for a simple reason that you wish to have a life in the science itself. In that scale, you'll even if you choose to be a businessman later, still you will be in science. Or if you choose to be a pure scientist, then anyway you will be in science. Like that, in various decisions, whatever you make in life hereafter, will be between science and technology only. In that scale, how you have a chance and how you can make your focused life will be of my time for another 20 to 30 minutes. I'll begin with a statement by Albert Einstein. Perhaps you all know about it anyway. He says two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And he continues to say, and I'm not sure about the universe. That means he said he's sure of human stupidity is infinite. So let us take it in a way, say that both are infinite anyway, and we have to work in that infinite, vast uh, field of universe as well, very narrow interest of human interest to understand. Let's start now. Yeah, you have to understand one interesting thing. Whatever you do, there are only two important events, important fields. Only two things. One is a physical world and another is a biological world. As a science student, even otherwise not, even otherwise not, one has to deal things only between these two worlds. The physical world at one end and the biological world. Biological world in the sense we as human beings are a part of the entire biodiversity from cell to complex organisms like us, and in a physical world from atom to the beyond world, beyond the universe or whatever, that way. So in that scale, so what exactly help us to meet these two worlds are the two important fields of knowledge systems. One is a chemistry, and you can see them anyway. One is a chemistry and other is a mathematics. Chemistry as a subject help us to understand the relationship between these two, as well the processes that makes that the processes that binds these two happens within the field also. The chemistry will help us to understand. Mathematics being the language of science, it helps to understand the entire physical world within as well with the biological world. In that scale, we are in now, like whether you are an electronic student or a chemistry student, pure chemistry student, or even economic students. The only thing that happened that even as linguistic students, you use this word called chemistry helps to build the relationship, and your mathematics helps to build the relationship. So in that scale, how exactly things are happening and what your future will decide upon this will be of today's my sharing with you. I have classified into major 10 events or 10 branches of knowledge systems where you can have your future. Future in the sense you can either you can start your own business, or you can study further, or you can make your life, or you can do anything. In definitely, I'm sure you will have these important 10 fields. So these fields are: one is ways in physical science, that is generally physics in general, and material and chemical evolutions, this is in chemistry. I'll one by one I'll take up in detail later. I'll just read out them. And the world of biology and dynamics of food, health and ecology, earth science and climate realities, economics and mathematical insights, data science, computation and artificial intelligence, evolution and dynamics of knowledge, history and philosophy of science, and lastly, socialization of science. These are the 10 major fields wherein you do anything, you will be definitely in one of these 10 events, one of these 10 knowledge systems. So let's begin with physical science. Generally, whatever you do in physics, you will be doing it with very simple thing: the matter and energy. All physical realities, everything, whatever you do in physics, whatever you study in physics, whatever you do, whatever you take up in physics, it is just about matter and energy. In matter, you will try to understand what's the composition of it, or how it behaves, or how it emphasizes with various other things. In that scale, you will be using other branch of knowledge systems. So in physics, you can do anything with respect to this your future only with the content, with the interest of understanding the matter and understanding the energy. In the sense, for example, matter in the sense like you will be trying to understand the composition of matter, or its structure of matter, or its configuration of matter. When it comes to the changing its reality, energy peeps in. So in that scale, the physics will have a different opportunities for you. Whether the most common jobs, like you can start your thinking in physics, or you train yourself in physics and become a research fellow in physics, or you can start teaching in physics, you become an astronomer, or you become a biochemist, or even biophysicist, or even a school teaching. Whatever you do, but you have a physics in your background, you will be differently exposed as well differently settled. Physics makes you much support in sciences than any other branch of knowledge systems, any other branch of sciences. But one thing is sure, you have to take very serious interest in doing physical systems and then try to expose further. So physics is a basic reality. So it starts with atom. It starts with understanding the matter with the atoms, even subatomic level, and it ends up with somewhere beyond solar systems. So that is the opportunity in physics. You have very vast system, very vast opportunities, very vast and as well your challenges. Next, you have a material and chemical avenues. I will sum up later why I chose this classification. I will sum up later. Anyway, the material and chemical avenues, I have called it so because if you choose your focused field as chemistry, suppose if you are passionate in chemistry, then your focus has to be on this avenue. Wherein chemistry is, as I said in the beginning, it is the branch of knowledge systems that tries to understand the realities of relationships. That's what even in common sense, even in politics, people say their chemistry is good, their chemistry is not good, something of that kind. In that sense, chemistry makes you the possibility of relationship, the possibility of happenings, possibility of anything you can choose to. In that scale, even your electronic students, at the core of it is chemistry. Even if you are a biochemist or if you are a doctor, core of it is chemistry. In the sense, the as a doctor, you will be trying to understand the body functions. What are the body functions? They are actually the cells, how they function. Those all functions are based on the explanation of the chemical realities. In that scale, what you choose anything, even cooking at home, it has a chemistry. Even if you want to start a business, there also you will be dealing with different matter. That the process of it is a chemistry. So in that way, chemistry has a reality of this day in the search of materials. Virtually, chemistry deals with converting brick into bread. There is a theoretical possibility. We can convert brick into bread. So it starts with understanding the elements, making the alloys, making the polymers, and now making the nanomaterial. So today is actually the world of material science. We previously used to say that biotechnology is the real future, that technology, this technology kind of things. Now the nanotechnology, now the material technology. Whoever you do, even in mechanical engineering, they can come up, they end up with material science. Even if you are doing electrical engineering studies, that is also material science. So why how it is material science and chemical sciences? Electrical engineering basically deals with your electron sharing. Electron sharing is a configuration matter and it's the behavior of elements. So in that way, if you have a thorough chemistry basis with your heart as a passion, whatever you do, even if you take the physics as the mainstream and take the chemistry as the help, or you do the biology and take the chemistry as the support, then your life will be different. So it will help you to choose, or if it helps you to take focus in your future world of understanding. So in that, for example, entire human, the so-called complex organism is human body. The entire happenings in our body system is understood by physiology. It is called physiology, but physiology is the chemistry of body, chemistry of cells, chemistry of tissues, chemistry of entire events. Disturbed physiology is pathology. So, in the sense, if there is a malfunction in your stomach, malfunction in your liver, malfunction in anything, so that way, even in industries, if there is something different, or in any other organisms, so disturbed physiology is called pathology. So, pathology is again a chemistry. So, in that scale, material science and chemical happenings, chemical understandings will provide you lots of opportunities. Even in physics, you have a help of chemistry. If you take biochemistry, there is a chemistry anyway. Biology, there is a need to understand chemistry. If you are a genetist, if you are a plant biologist, if you are a medical student, if you are a geology student, if you are an astronomer, or even if you are an earth science student, you have to take the benefit of, you have to take the help of chemistry. So chemistry offers you to understand the relationship. It offers you to understanding the happenings. It offers you to understanding the how the habit of nature can help to benefit of everybody, benefit of the interest of what you are. So in that way, even a pure battery making or electrical engineering or tractor making or anything you take, any material processing, manufacturing, utility, entirely it is chemistry. So that way you can think of focusing your interest. What can be your passion? Whether chemistry I am fitting in or not. What are I have a physics passion or whatever. In that way, but you cannot forget chemistry because it helps you to understand relationship. If you try to understand the relationship, then you can have a better friendship with anyone. So to make better friendship in science or better success in science, you have to be a successful friend maker for which chemistry will help you. Now we have wonder world of biology. Biology, if you take, we have some cell to higher complex organisms, biology works with it. And again, to understand the cells, for example, now in the pandemic situation, like the viral biology, it was never the discussion of even medical sciences. It was very rarely, just about 3 to 5 years ago, with any viral treatments were hardly taken seriously. But now that is the world of interest. Every person in the world now is being try to analyze, try to react, try to know anything about viral world. Now, in fact, so viral world is so complex that there are 10 billion times much more than the number of stars you can see in the sky. Though, and so far only 9,000 and add viruses have been named. Understand the complexity of the virology. That is, and again, epidemics, to understand the epidemics in biology, you have to have the support of statistics. So that also you have a programming and approach in your field, and I will talk about it. So in biology, there are two different worlds. One is the terrestrial world and the aquatic world. And within the terrestrial world, you have aquatic situation as well as pure terrestrial situation. To understand the entire biology, to understand the entire biodiversity, there are lots and lots of opportunities. We have hardly have inquired into the world of biology, and the world of biology have the two extremes. One is to understand within, that is going back to the cell and even beyond cell, that is submolecular level, and extremely complex ecosystems, either terrestrial or aquatic. You have the world that you can support you. So what I am trying to convey is that you think of where you are with the help of chemistry, with the help of physics, where you can fit in the biology and how you can take it further. Now, the problem, the interest, what I'm sharing with you is you can choose to have a passion either in the terrestrial, aquatic, or within the molecular biology also. Taking the help of physics and chemistry at your backdrop, you can do a wonder world. So what the wonder world of biology will give you so much opportunities there. Now, at least in the viral world of pandemic situation, biology has taken the prime role, and for another few decades, it will rule the world. Next, within the same subset of biology, you have a dynamics of food, health, and ecology. The three H's they call hunger, health, and hygiene. In order to meet these hunger, health, and hygiene, we take the fullest support of biology, fullest support of ecology, fullest support of physics, full support of chemistry. Because we need to still meet the hunger situation, especially in the disturbances like this natural disasters like pandemic situation or many other things. Very, very important basic thing is to reach food for everybody. And then health. To maintain the food and health, you need to have hygienic environment. So in that scale, India has a major opportunity giver to work with either to meet the hunger or to reach the health or to provide the hygiene environment. These three fields within the biology makes you have wonderful dynamic of see. Now if you think, now people realize what is the importance of hygiene, what is the importance of health, why we use mask, for example, and what is the reality of spitting somewhere else and things like that. So they're interconnected. Your hunger, your health, and your hygiene are interconnected in the ecological dynamics. And you will have and these fields are something like evergreen. You always have a function of food production. You always have a function of reaching the health. You always have function of making the hygiene environment. So one or the other, say, even if you have, suppose, for example, about during early 70s, the plastic entered the human world in a big scale. Today, imagine there is nothing free of plastics. And at the same time, it has created lot of havocs. So at one side, the polymer has helped. At the other side, it has created a problem. So the world will have this kind of opportunities, this kind of disturbance, this kind of support throughout. One side, we never know. For example, to take further today's example, we continuously use mask one side or washing hands or other side. That means how much of disinfectant we have used in last 1 year. Definitely this will definitely create another problem in future, and studies will come up maybe after the pandemism is over. What is the importance, what is the effect of, or what is the kind of so much of alcohol being used as a disinfectant, or any other material being used as. So that's what many times it is said, use simple soap and kind of things. But what all I'm saying is that any situation will lead to another situation which will have a problem in future. So in that scale, ecology will be continuously offering you a field of work, and you can choose to take one of these fields. Either we can proceed stopping hunger, or proceed reaching the good health for everyone, or proceed with making a good hygienic environment to make things possible at the life. Next field is like earth science and climate research. You must simply ask me, sir, we have taken PCMB or PCME or PCMC or something. How do we enter to this earth science where you have not heard of at all? In fact, earth science and climatic realities are highly interdisciplinary fields. Even as a pure physicist, you can be a part of earth science student. Even a pure chemistry student, you can be a part of climate studies. Because, and if you are just an electronic student, you can be a part of this. I hope you know how much the geographic understanding has changed over last 2 or 3 decades. Earlier days, in the beginning, when the Britishers came to India, they physically surveyed the entire land, and now that was initially called as Geological Survey of India, Botanical Survey of India, and things like that. Now you have a GPS in your hand. You have a GPS in your mobile. That is the reality. So, and secondly, the climate is being changed from last 30, 40 years. Particularly, it is changing in a different rate than the earlier. From last 10,000 plus years, climate is being differently understood, and we do not have a data of predicting entire climatic events not more than 400 years. So it provides an opportunity from understanding from space to the core of earth, in the sense about, if you deeply dug your earth up to 6,800 kilometers, you can reach same about core. So there is an interest in the core also. We have not crossed 5 kilometers of earth surface. The 5 to 35 kilometers, what makes the crust, and the entire understanding is only in the crust itself. So in that way, there is a huge opportunity to understand. And there are, see, even even if you maybe someone of interest in the petroleum science, there are sayings, there are hypotheses. Petroleum is continuously formed within the core, and it is evolved with a different ecosystem, with a different possibilities. Anyway, I'm just saying this. What all I am saying is, our Earth. See, in 1980s, the petrol was so shortage. They were predicting that by 2020 the petrol will be seized. But now in 2021, you see how much all companies are now advertising, use Indian oil, use HP, something like that. So what is the change? I think people who have realized in 80s and 90s, they were even to get gas connection in the earlier days. You ask your mother, you ask your parents, grandparents, what was the situation in 70s and 80s? But what is the situation in 2020, and how it has happened? Is it helped? The science has helped, or the data was wrong? You can question. So what all I am saying is, your passion in trying to understand Earth and understand climate will provide you lots and lots of opportunities. If, as people predicted in 80s, the petrol would have been seized by now, then there won't have been any jobs in the petroleum science itself. But now, if you take the amount of petrol is used in the world is so enormous that it has created many opportunities, as well many different questions. So in that way, we have lots of different kind of opportunities. So to exactly quote how the geographic understanding has changed in centuries, it began in 17th century. It began in 17th, 18th century, and now they understand every bit of Earth is mapped with geographic understanding. That's one end. And likewise, we have also mapped space even. So our climate, to understand are not just the Earth climate, even trying to feel the solar system. For example, to quote one example, you have seen the Saturn's picture. The rings around is not the solid rings; they are the bits. Actually, they are continuously revolving bits, and that was predicted in late 18th century itself. And that was the reality in when the recent Cassini confirmed it with more details. So what all I am saying is, these branch of knowledge systems. Now, okay, you have a business. You want to have a business. You want to start up with a business. You want to take up something different world. There is a chance in economics. How do you may ask me, sir? I'm not a passionate economic or everything. Or we have some small business. Everywhere you will find economics. Economics is the real life maker. Whether you take it seriously or not, even for a person like me, where I have least interest in economics and I don't understand my own budgetary system, but still I have to. So mathematics and economic insights will make you a different world, will bring you a different world. They provide you different opportunities. So what the blend of statistics with these knowledge systems, economics and mathematics and statistics, particularly now the world is trying to understand the data, the world is trying to understand the epidemic situation, the world is trying to understand the entire pandemic in a different world because of. So now how do we do at it? That possibility is provided by the economics and mathematical insight. Though they are independently driven, you can choose to be taking economics as your future and mathematics as your passion. Suppose many of you amongst you, at least few will have mathematical insight as maths as your passionate subject, then your world will be of different. You can take the help of statistics with you, you can make the different world. Because now the world is taking very serious, and secondly, mathematics is the language of science. Mathematics is the modulator of science, and economics is something that provides you, that makes you the reality of the profit, the reality of the success, reality of the other social events. So you have a chance in these fields also, but you have to be very critically look at scientifically in taking in a different ideology with this. So you have a chance in possibility of making your events or your life in these branch of knowledge systems too. Now in data science and computation, this is a very different world, and you name any other branch of knowledge systems previously I have discussed, be it biology, material science, or pure economics, or neuroscience, or physics, you have a role in data science and computation. A physics student have a job in data science, a chemistry student will job in artificial intelligence. You name any knowledge systems, now it is digitized. Even see how will world is changing in the digital world today is providing enormous opportunities. That's what Indian Institute of Technology, Chennai, Madras, has started a different course. It's an open course now, and they were expected about 1 lakh students for the student. And it's an online course. You after this you can just go to the website and find out when it is open, things of that kind. And if you not just the IIT Madras itself, there are many other institutes offer data science online, or there are many online courses from the different world, even from Stanford or MIT or even California Institute of Technology and things of that kind. There is a Coursera, and there are different websites you can just look at it. So you will have an opportunity, you will have a passion, you can find your place fit in this field. Who is not interested in digital world today? Tell me. Everyone is doing digital opportunities. Your business has gone to digital world. Your communication is entirely dependent on things. See now, just 3 years back, your mom or dad used to say, "Don't take your mobile too much. Don't play with it." But they are now asking you to attend a class in mobile. The world has changed. So what I am saying this is, now the digital world is in your hand. Your digital world is in your future. You can Data is the resource today. You go to any shop, any mall or anything, they'll ask your phone number. Why is that? If you go to anywhere, they'll ask your personal interest, personal issues. You have opened up your Facebook or Instagram or whatever. What all you have given? You have sold yourself. In all these things, you are the marketable product, not your money. Your name is sold. Your what you call your phone number is sold. Your contact is sold. They use that. No, so how is that they use? You might get a call from an external unknown person. Sir, are you interested in BTech? You are planning for. Just you just try to apply in one university. Suddenly you will be getting 10 calls from other universities. How is that? Your name, your number is sold from the university where you are talked to. And earlier, see, so what I am saying, this data has become a resource today. Any kind of data is a resource, and one thing, and secondly, computing it and handling it another issue. It requires knowledge. It requires a serious disciplined discourse of handling the data. Handling data is another challenge. The why Bill Gates has made so much of different world and how the world is moving. This is because the computation and handling of data has become reality, and they are taking advantage of it. And your Facebook is moving that way, WhatsApp is moving that way. All such things are going in that direction because of the data has become a resource today. So you will get an opportunity in computation and handling of it, and things of that kind can be a passion for you, and you can have an opportunity in these fields. Now, rarely you might have interest in this field, that is evolution and dynamics of knowledge. The knowledge tie you find in various systems. Why I say rarely, because not all may be interested in this, but you will be interested otherwise too, in the sense whatever you have chosen, maybe you have chosen neuroscience, maybe you have chosen ecology or environment science or whatever. In any branch, you have a dynamics of that knowledge. For example, dynamics in the sense there is a continuous change of what is practicing today will never be of tomorrow. So that dynamics you need to handle. So in the sense, even if you are using a Android mobile, after 3 years it's not the same mobile, the same technology, same usage idea will be after 3 years. For example, the very new mobile, you have to teach your parents or the seniors at home, because it is of different dynamically given. So in that way, you have to understand this. There is a branch, there is an opportunity, there is a focused interest required in understanding evolution and dynamics of knowledge. So it will help you to move in. You have to have learning throughout. You have to maintain the interest of making a different world within. So in that way, you have lots of opportunities to understand, to develop and grow with knowledge and continuously with the technology. We may call it technology, but and the core of it, it has knowledge. It has science. It has the basic understanding of the electron. So evolution and knowledge also, again, it takes the help of physics, chemistry, and that kind. So you need to passionate in one thing, take the help of others. Now, next is socialization of science. Socialization of science. Why you can ask me, what is the socialization of science? You have a common understanding of socialization. Socialize. How do you socialize? You go to your parents. When you take your parents to your cousin's house, you go to mall, you go to picture, so there is a socialization within you. So like that, science has a socialization interest, and this interest is very recent. Though it has that interest in its core, now it has become very urgent, in the sense, even to understand the present pandemic situation. The virology, the real requirement of understanding the virology is genetics. The real requirement of understanding the virology is this human behavior. The real understanding of the virology lies with hygiene of the environment. it lies with political support, it lies with economic condition, it lies with chemistry. How do we bring all this? Therein, your socialization of scientific knowledge will help you. So generally we talk about the media, filming, communication, public discourse, public policies, law, etc. So you can be a leader in doing this. You can take up these issues into policy. If you want to be a good policy dynamic person, then you need to have a socialization interest of knowledge systems. So this is yet another field where it can. So you need not ask for your college professor or the institute, sir, do we have a branch of socialization of science in your, and so that I can take up in BSc or whatever. Not that way. It is your own evolution in understanding of. See, for a policy maker, for example, in the now in the in disastrous world, disaster situation, every DC has been fully powered in to take up a decision of the district. How he can do it? He has to socialize the knowledge systems available. So I will call a meeting wherein the district health officer will come, district agriculture officer will come. How do we? How he has to now correlate all knowledge to make the possibility of the benefit to the entire community? There lies the socialization of knowledge. So you can lead in this, provided you take interest in making how this knowledge of different branches and blend into reality, real world, and the benefit of humanity. So you have a role in socialization of knowledge too that will help you to make a different world. Generally, you will have jobs in this kind of understanding in communication, media, and filming. You particularly you personally, some of you might have an interest in making a discourse of a particular. I have seen in the Inspire course, like some of your students will be having your own interest of different world. So that all possible in socialization of science. Finally, history and philosophy. This is bit cognitive interest and bit of different kind. This is how do you see history in the sense it is not just a chronology of events. It is how things are moving in the dynamic world and build the entire situation into given reality is the history, not the history of that chronology, that kind of conglomeration of the chronology of events. And how do you philosophize science within? So this is most toughest job in philosophy, in knowledge systems, and most toughest job in science. And to achieve this, I'm sure not now, just not in BSc will do this, that not just not in MSc you can do this, or just not by teaching 10 years and you can be a philosopher of science. Definitely, this is a long journey. Like you have to reach that journey, you have to pursue all the possible knowledge systems in a scientific reality, in understanding the ultimate truth. That's why the PhD degree is called Doctor of Philosophy. It is the end, I mean, almost the final degree. The last degree you get from the university is PhD. The philosophization of truth, philosophization of knowledge, philosophization of anything which you pursue in. So to reach that scale, you have to interwoven all possible events in most successful possibilities to the dual to the to understand the final truth of it. In that scale, this is the something like a very cognitively demanding interface or cognitively demanding knowledge systems, or in a sense it requires a lot of effort to finally to reach this case. I'm sure some of you, if not, you may hardly take a engineering seat, or some of you may even fail to get into a good college. Some of you may just start your life with economics, sociology, or other linguistics or psychology or whatever. You will just drop in all branch of PCMB or PCMS, or you start with something else. Even then, you have a chance to become philosopher of science. The world is moving in a way. Now the things are very open. At your people say in your fingertip you have a knowledge system, but you should be so intelligent to find the truth out of it. Just when you just Googleize, you will find first whatever the first website opens you is not of really important. Many times it is most seen or it is supported by advertise, or it is supported by vested interest, whatever it is. Sometimes you have to find so to do all that, you need a different kind of ideology, and I'm sure one or the other day you will reach this state to philosophize knowledge. So, what is the takeaway? From your institute, you have to take certain things. These are the 10 different ways. Okay, now you may take interest in one of them, or two or three, or blending of them is to fine. But finally, you have to settle in your life, you have to settle in your interest, you have to settle in your some way of doing other things, ultimately to get the contentment. To do that, you have to take something from the institution. What is the takeaway? From the entire Inspire program, we have dealt with some small things. Not that we have given everything, but your takeaway from your institute, from the course of the entire 3 days events, what we did, and after that we had a lab. Lab is different anyway. So the takeaway is your interpersonal skills. You have to take the motivation from us. You have to take the motivation from the institute. You have to take the motivation from your experience, and you have to put in your hard work. You have to dedicate. That should be your takeaway. You have to take the motivation, work hard, dedicate your life. That's one takeaway. And secondly, you should know your target. You should be focused. If even if you are not focused, I mean, even now, if you are not focused, I'm really sorry. It's high time that you should be focused. You are complete. I know the problems of year and a plus, how the pandemic have how made entire world is unfocused. But there are many students have converted that into an opportunity. I'm 50 plus. I have converted that into an opportunity. I wrote every week one essay out of some of the other interest of science. And see, what I am quoting is that you have to be focused in your learning. You have to fix a target. So, target in the sense, what you should find joy is not reaching the target. The journey should be enjoyed. See, for a musician, performance is not the joy. The preparation is the joy. How do you rehearse? How do you rehearse? That is the joy. If you learn to rehearse, enjoy the joy, I mean, rehearsal, then your performance, just it's a matter of half an hour. That is not. See, I have prepared to present you the talk. What I am enjoying is not the presentation. I have enjoyed reading all that for you. You have to understand the fixing the target means not just you have to some or the other way not to reach the fixed target. The enjoyable event is to reach the target, how much you prepare. That's the enjoyment. You ask your mother. See, she will not see whoever cooks at home. They eat normally at the end. Normally, the reason why is they see how other people will enjoy what she or he prepared. So that is true with musicians also. Musicians will what they watch. They watch your claps. So that should be your takeaway. And you should negotiate your skills. Negotiate means you have to overcome your limitations. You have to negotiate your skills with the desired outcome. You have to negotiate your skill with successful working. You have to successfully working. You have to make all these things. See, you have to overcome the limitation. The overcoming limitation is very important. See, we have crossed. I will come to end that anyway. So, and to understand your limitation is very important. So, you can ask me, sir. After all, we are just passed out 10th and have just spent at home learning online for PU and all. For how do we fix our limitations and things like that? Yes, no worry at all. You had a chance of this kind of opportunity. You will now know. See, in that what is that opportunities? You can just take your free time and learn anything that at least how do you search and material possibilities. So you should negotiate your limitations, take how do you overcome limitations, how do you fix your desired outcome and make a successful working should be another takeaway. And one more takeaway for spending 2 years with us with the institution, you have to take one thing is that communication skills. Communication skills. See, whether as a student you should know how to read and write. How to what are you if you are asking what to read and write and what a simple thing? No, no, not that way. I'm saying reading is what? Reading is construction of meaning, not reading just so I'm just reading the textbook. I mean, reading the sentences is not that. Unless you understand, don't go to the next page. Read. Read means you have to construct the meaning. If you're not constructed the meaning out of what you read, then reading is not happened. So also writing. When you write, I have been telling many times, many of my friends, please write, please write. Why I'm saying that is when you write, your confidence level will be totally different. I am confident today because in the sense what I'm sharing you, I have put up so much effort, and at least now I am just talking to you with a confidence means I have put up some effort to write. This should happen. This will happen. You see, generally when you write a mail, you will think twice to use your word. That process will doesn't happen if you just read. Of course, to write, one has to read. So when we come to the stage of good writing, you are a good reader. So you if you are a writer, if you are a good communicator, your first level of reading is successfully happened. So that way, read and write has a different entities, different explanations. Reading makes you to construct a truthful meaning, to construct a meaning, and writing will provides you the confidence of what you are write. And when you write, see that too in WhatsApp you can delete your message, but if you mail or if you hand over your paper and out of exams, you can't rewrite. So to do that, how much effort you put in, so that should happen in writing. So writing is what that gives you lots of confidence. So no take away this that you how to read and how to write it. Finally, you should take away another important thing, the time management. It is not just from the institution from where you spent last 2 years. Time management is ever taking away kind of knowledge system, taking away kind of experience. You have to manage your time. Even now, I told you that I will be finishing by half an hour, but I'm exceeding about 40 minutes now. I should know how to manage time. You should. So I have taken much time because I have taken more time in the sense that to make you more comfortable understanding, to make myself in more audio, more explainable to you kind of things. So you should have a good time management interest, and you have to control yourself within that using good time effectively. So basically, you can take away this, motivate yourself, focused learning, overcoming your limitations, communication skills, and time management will be a takeaway from the institution, will be a takeaway from our Inspire program, will be a takeaway from all good things, whatever happened from here. And finally, I'll conclude with the wishes from Stephen Hawking, which has made a very interesting statement, and I learn. I always enjoy this. What makes humans unique? He says, I believe what makes us unique is transcending our limits. Just previously, I was discussing you should understand the limit and you should transcend, you should cross the limits. He says, I believe what makes us unique is transcending our limits. Gravity pins us to the ground, but I just flew to America. I lost my voice, but I can still speak. This is what Stephen said. Though he was attached to a place in England, he could flew to America. He lost his voice. He could talk, but I can still speak thanks to my voice synthesizer. How do we transcend these limits with our minds? How do we? How? So that's what he questions. Because we are human, and our nature is to fly. That's what he said. So I conclude with this presentation. concluding Inspire program, or it's not a conclusion in a way. I'm sure it is a beginning of much inspired world within you, or in front of you. So I wish all of you to have a great success. Success is not just getting into IIT. Success is not getting into become an MBBS student. Success is something the good human being with all the good knowledge and successfully using it in your endeavors. In that scale, I'm sure even if you take just a language as your studies, you can do wonders. You have a place in everywhere you can make a wonderful success. So I wish all that happen to you, and all the best for you. And finally, I request your madam to share these slides officially with all of your students. We can preserve this in case if you, or you can just cross back to me anytime to have any more clarity on your field, even after your exams or whenever it's possible. So all the best for all of you. I just wish best things happen in your future. Thank you very much. You have any? I would love to have questions in case, because that's more important. I'll definitely have time for you. You can ask me any questions now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Channesh sir, for your wonderful presentation and motivation to our students. I would like to extend my profound thanks to Dr. Channesh. Sir, it was really a wonderful program, well designed and meticulously planned, and it was such an inquisitive training. For the first time, the students had a very nice interaction with all the scientists and you as well. Thank you so much for designing such a program. And today's talk was really inspiring, and yes, I hope the students will have a lot of takeaway from the Inspire program and the institution.
Madam, just one interruption. Is there any student have some queries? Anything they have asked?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Students, yeah. Do you have any questions? You are free to ask in this session. Anybody would like to talk? Fine. If not so, I think they'll write to you, sir, as you told.
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, the Inspire program.
No, I'm a bit skeptical of people writing to me. So, what I'm saying is, people don't write generally. So that's a very interesting endeavor. They should look at it. I love to have their mails. Yes. Thank you.
Neha, anything from your end? Students, would you like to tell something about the program? Can you share
any questions in general? Any questions? Not just program. Let them not worry about that. If you have anything in mind, let them ask. Because simple thing, they don't have any PU exam, or they might have a lot of other things, other questions. Like generally, if they want to have, let them. Otherwise, thank you.
Likit. You can please unmute and share your views.
Likit left the meeting. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think fine. So thank you so much, sir. I would like to extend my profound thanks to you, and my thanks to the management, the chairman Soundarya P. Manjappa, managing director Srimati Sunita Manjappa, and especially CEO Mr. Keerthan sir, for providing an opportunity to conduct such a wonderful program. It's Inspire 2020. And I'd like to thank our principal, sir, for being so supportive and the guidance that he has given during the program. My thanks to all my colleagues and all the teaching as well as non-teaching faculties, and also my special thanks and wishes to all my beloved students who have been a part of this Inspired program. I hope you have been inspired and personally gained a lot of knowledge by this program. I wish all the participants of Inspire a great and a successful journey ahead. Good luck to all of you. Uh, yes, Neha, you can. Ma'am, a small question.
Ma'am, before opting any field in future,
Yes.
should we think about the present situation or about the future situation? I just would love to hear Channesh sir's view about it.
Yeah. Anything of that kind can help you both in the sense, whatever you are present, don't bother much about it. You just think of more of future. But you always have have the present or the previous experience in your backdrop. Not an issue at all. See, you can plan your future accordingly. You can just take the training. Not an issue. Planning the future means what you are looking at. Can you be specific, Neha? You have any specific future interest? I can give more clarification if you wish.
Sir, I have plan of taking paramedical field like cardiac care technologies. I just want a guidance from you that how could I enter that field
Yeah.
and the trends in that field.
Yeah, it is, paramedical particularly, it is the blend of physics as well biology. So you have to take the interest of these fields particularly. You can enter, not an issue. Entering into paramedical field is another choice of opportunity now, and there are good training institutes. Are good. You can choose where you can. For example, as you said, you have interest in cardiac care. Of course, cardiac care. Much of it is now helped with electronic devices as well, the particular biological expressions. Definitely, you can use your present knowledge and take the benefit of the future. I hope I have clarified, or still you have.
Thank you, sir.